Hello and welcome everyone to the second installment of the Cathay Radious Modded Unit Showcase. This is a mini-series going over all of the units that are added with the massive Radius Overhaul mod, and breaking them down into their different categories. We've already gone over the infantry for Cathay and the Kislev roster, both of which will be in cards at the top right here in this intro if you're interested in seeing more. We'll be going through all the factions in the game, but let me know which you'd like to see next in the comments. Let's get right to it then, starting with what I consider your very hardened militia. We have the Fearless Wall with bows. A definite upgrade to your normal peasant archers. You'll want these guys in your armies as soon as you can get them. They've got double the armor and melee stats of the peasant bowmen, as well as an armor-piercing melee that allows them to punch back at any who manage to tie them up in a scrap. They've got 165 range tied with the Jade crossbowman, and 20 missile strength, 4 of which is armor-piercing. For abilities, they will be immune to psychology, have defensive stance, increasing survivability while standing still, and will be of yin harmony like all missile troops for Cathay, which will boost their speed and reload skill and leadership while standing close to a yang-based or melee unit. Finally, they have a missile resist of 10%, making them a very strong upgrade to your Tier 1 archers. Next, we'll see our new addition to the gunpowder weapons with the Imperial Road Watch with rifles. This unit is unique in that you can only recruit them through Tier 4 of your provincial capital, or Tier 3 of any defensive wall building. They will have 96 armor, decent melee stats with the ability to burn their foes, lowering leadership by 7 and dropping their fire resistance by 15%. They've got a range of 160, but those rounds aren't going to pack a punch, being mainly armor piercing and giving the shield breaker debuff to targets, dropping missile block by 25. They will rip through pretty much any target you point them at, and your foes will quickly find out how little bullets care about things like shields and armor. Moving on, we'll have another set of units that are recruited through alternative means, with the Jade Sea Dragons, wielding both repeating and fire crossbows. This is pretty easily my favorite unit tier, all of the Jade Sea Dragon variants that is, but we'll start with the spicier of the two with the fire crossbows. These Cathayan Marines have similar melee stats to our Imperial Road Watch, and their melee attack will be flaming and apply the charmed effect, dropping foes' attacks by 8. They've got 175 range, and missiles are going to be on fire, armor piercing, and apply the flammable effect, which will drop speed by 35% and give a weakness to fire damage of 25%. On top of all that, they will have a Vanguard deploy, allowing you to be very precise with placement, have immune to psychology, and a 25% resistance to physical attacks. Stacked with any other defensive buffs, and these guys are going to be very hard to kill and can dish out a ton of damage while applying a nasty debuff. Their repeating crossbow brothers have all the same base stats, but will be trading in these spicy stick throwers for ones with a bit more hate towards infantry, and also rocking a fancy silver shield to keep them safe in missile duels. Those bolts are going to have a bonus versus infantry, armor piercing, and slow down anything they hit by 35%, and they fire 3 shots per volley. There are a lot of numbers to work with on these guys, but they perform about as well as Celestial Dragon crossbows against all targets you point them at, while also slowing the enemy. They will, however, lose a bit of range and only have 150, so you will want to be a bit more careful with positioning on these. The Frontier Guards are your most elite tier of infantry and will have 2 missile variants for you to work with, both of which are absolute terrors on the battlefield. You will recruit them from your second tier Celestial Armory, and let's start off with the rifle variant. This is a heavily armored unit with 112 armor, 31 attack, and 45 defense. Like all other variants of Frontier Guard, all forms of damage they deal, missile and melee, will discourage the enemy, dropping leadership by 10 and their attack by 5%. They've got 170 range and 31 missile strength, 19 of which is armor piercing. For abilities, they have immune to psychology, woodsman, allowing them to pass and shoot through trees, and a 15% spell resistance. A heavily armored and deadly gun line. Your bow variant is going to be a nightmare for any large targets that come into range. With equal armor and melee stats, the real difference is going to be in their 180 range, rivaling that of the High Elves, and their bonus versus large missiles. An army consisting of infantry entirely made of Frontier Guard is going to be a terror for your foes to deal with. Combined fire from the rifles and bowmen will quickly rip apart any single entity monster or lord. Lastly, we'll take a look at the Onyx Dragons. Along with the Frontier Guard, these are your premier missile troop with 112 armor, 32 attack, and 48 defense. Even if caught in combat, they will savagely defend themselves. Both missile and melee attack will have an innate bonus versus infantry, and they have magical ammunition, so any infantry including archers you point these guys at will quickly melt away. The Onyx Dragons also have 180 range and a suite of decent abilities, with perfect vigor so they never tire, immune to psychology, and a 15% missile resistance. But that's going to be all for this video. Which of our new Cathayan missile troops do you like the most? I enjoy combining the Onyx Dragons and Frontier Bowmen to cover both bonus versus infantry and large units with that massive 180 range. For now, though, I am out of time for today. I have been Space Wizard Total War. Remember to leave a like for the Light God and a sub for the Sub Throne, and I will see you on the next one.